Yes, this is it. It could be different. It could be something else. But we defined it to be it. It is it. What makes such definitions? When we decide something to be, seems to be stable opinion. It's not dependent on anything, it's just truth. So that is different thing altogether. Today is another day. Maybe it's in a loop. I don't know. I have to figure it out before I end up talking about it. Maybe a little bit more music. I don't know. Music is also a loop of tunes. And the loop is, it was played first time, then it is repeated again and again and again and again. It's all repetitions. We do it again. It's all in a loop. And the fact, maybe it's just that opinion that is going in a loop. The more often that we think that things is what it is, it seems to be a loop of fact, a circle in itself that makes up that notion, that opinion, that is the truth. Sorry for that, I have a coughing. It doesn't seem to help. I went on antibiotica, and it was to get rid of it completely. You see, the air at the airport and airplane is not that good. It's making people sick. In the end, people get sick. They get COVID-19. I'm just kidding. Oh, it is also the time is in a kind of loop. Like today is another day. It's just what we said yesterday. And all the days passed. It was, even when my mother were a child, they say it's just another day. Maybe Abraham was talking like that too, like it's another day. It's how it is. We can't see, we can't know. It's all about loops. And people, like children, when they see a swing, they want to sit in that loop, in that swing. And when you are at a circus, or what you call this roller roads, you have this I don't know even in Norwegian. I forgot the name of it, but it is the loops. You sit in a wagon, and it's like a big fall, and the wagon is connected to some road. Attached to some roads, so you can go in circles and down and up and whatever. And those loops seems to be the most fun of it. The real fun is in the loop. So who wouldn't go in a loop like that, ending up where we began? That is fun, and we try to play tricks with our mind in order to see if our mind is working like like a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. The name of that thing was a roller coaster. I forgot the Norwegian name for that. Look at this. It is, but it is doing its work as long as it's okay. I just thought it. Sorry for that. I show you bad, but it's what the loop can do. It can break off. Yeah, it's funny how the mind works. You see, it is loops. I don't know where to put things here. It's so crowded. It's so... You see, I don't think I have been telling you this, but I have been writing quite a bit. Writing all sorts of stuff. Even written some books. One was the first... the first book I wrote was it was this, You, Me and the God. I would rather place this awkward in a different position, but it seems not to work like that. Should be able to be pushed up, maybe change the color to bluish, like that. You, Me and the God. That is much better. I wrote this, but I also wrote some. It was in Norwegian. I don't write in English, but it can be easily translated. My I did this book. Well, let me write it in English so that I can get it right. My views on the Pentecostal movement.
My views on the Pentecostal movement.
I needed to do that because I had these loops of activism. I didn't like what the elders, it was all about the elders, and they seemed not to get anything out of what I was talking about. So I felt that was a loop that burnt me out, so I had to stop. Even in the psychiatric, I have been doing some stuff there, some writing stuff, beside all the letters and letters about what is important within the psychiatric healthcare empowerment, and we need, what I said was, we need the patients, the user involvement, full time. They are not regarded as stupid as you may think. And now, as I wrote to them, I now realize the warning in the early beginning of my activism within the psychiatric healthcare that you will regret. You will not, they didn't say that, but they said something like, it will never help. It will never happen. Now I wrote this as a quote from those wise men that was saying that it will never help. I give them right. It didn't help. It took 10 years. 10 years. I couldn't use it any different way, my life. So my life is a loop. That's what I can say. It's loops of different stuff. So you better find out what is important about your loops. Because you may end up doing the same thing in different ways, in different aspects, in different departments. But I learned, beside writing all this stuff, I wrote about my own history, my own childhood upbringing. It didn't become a book, but it may be a book in the end. I don't know. I may talk about it because talk seems to work in the same way. As long as your mind is working, it is important to use the language that we have. It's kind of a tool. It's an operating tool. And as we saw just recently, I said roller coaster. It's exactly that. I was lacking the word. I knew it before, of course. I knew it, and it was kind of obvious, but it came in a very smart way. So the language is smart in of itself, because when you start talking, when you start writing, you trigger your memories. So I advised many people. Even doing this video is very simple. It's nothing really to it, but the idea that you will not have a brain that is dormant. People that suffers very much were put on medicine that is dormant, that is making their mental activity, not a smart thing, but mental activity is just pointing at certain things. This is coffee cup. It's filled again. And this is chocolate. This is some bottle of water. It's vinegar in the first place. We can read, write. It's not an advertisement. It's cakes. So it's cake. I have it all here. So all the words in some way bring associations. So I was visiting my sister for a long time ago, and we were talking, and she told me some incident that they had a course at their work, a weekend course or something, some day course, and they were asked to write let me Google that. I think I got it right. A fairy tale. Fairy tale, yes.
Fairy tale.
So they were asked to do a fairy tale about their own, not their own, but some just random fairy tale. She told us, we were visiting her, at because I think I gave her my book and she was commenting on it, and we were talking about writing, and she said the first time I have ever written something was this. We were asked in this course to write a fairy tale. So I wrote a fairy tale I asked, of course, what did you write? What kind of fairy tale did you write? I was triggered to ask because since it's my blood and sibling, I was interested. I was seriously, genuinely interested in what she had written. What kind of fairy tale was that? Nothing really, but I wrote about a family. As I was in the family, she said. As I was in the family. And we went to far away, and we camped by some river, some lake, some river or something. The last born child was playing in the river, and it was playing there, and it suddenly drowned. And she shouted that, "Father, come and help this boy. He is going to drown." And he was brought up, and everybody was happy, and that was it. That was her fairy tale. And I said, as a commentary to that, this is not a fairy tale. This is not a fairy tale. It is a true story. Now, what do you mean about that? Wow, it's real. I am the little boy that fell into the river and almost drowned. What? What are you talking about? It is true. Don't you remember at Jondalen, the camp there? The camp. And it was a family union or something before we went out to Kenya. I was a little child, was standing in the river, nobody minded. You were sitting up on the so-called beach of that little sand bank on that river, and I suddenly lost balance and I went under. I remember that vividly. Even today. It's nothing I forgot. Of course I would remember. And that is a true story. And the interesting part here is that when you start writing, you trigger these memory lines. You may think in the first place that this is just your own thoughts, and it is. You should take your own thoughts very seriously. And it was happened. You were triggered, and I have been experiencing this kind of triggering while I'm writing. So I will encourage you and everybody to write more, because it will trigger the memory line If you don't write, if you don't speak like I'm doing now, you may have anxious memories that you don't want to tap into. I have also those. I don't want to remember to the point that I may cry. But it is okay. If you cry, you cry. I was also writing, you can't call it a book. It's like a place. I was writing, pointing down the place. I don't know whether I have it now. I may have it. It's my well can't be filled. Let me write that down for you.
My well cannot be filled.
It's kind of a emptiness in itself. I wrote that kind of writing. I was experiencing some deep, profound changes in my life. I felt like that. After that, I did my major decisions, which I'm not sorry about, yet it was pain and hurt and much more. So, see, what do you think now in the early stages in your life? You may listen to this because it's this video is out of the ordinary. It's nothing ordinary about my videos. So I may, in some weird way, advise you to listen, sometimes listen to them, because it's I'm not writing things down as I say. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I may hoped to talk with you, but it's just that I talk to you. I talk to me. It's in a loop. Circles of thoughts, experiences, and life is from day to day. Life is from day to day. And we tend to forget something important. But when you use your language abilities, you will trigger those memory lines that may seem far gone, but I think it is for your state of mind, your health, your if you care about yourself, you may be able to trigger something that reminds you of something that happened, that you did, that you said, that you... different stuff. When you do... When I do something, I'm remembering, as I changed tires the other day, from summer to winter. it reminds me of what I did earlier on. I remember the cars I have changed the tires on, and so it kind of also motivates the functionality of my hands, how I do things. So do it often, write often, do video often, say something profound, because your children may want to keep those memories of you. What can you talk in these videos? I like to talk in a way that my children can be proud, can be reminded of me. So when they get their own children, there is Granddad, he's still alive, he's still on YouTube, he's still there, and I think it will make even them. I don't want to influence their thoughts, their way of thinking, their way of doing. No, it's nothing like that, but it can be a reminder of where they are coming from. So wouldn't you mind to do some videos about yourself, about your own life? Not what you do every day. You may do that too, but something profoundly and important. You may see different than me, what is important or not, but it doesn't really matter. It's all out there. It's all you want to keep yourself alive forever. So why not do a video? Why don't you do a audio? Why don't you do pictures? And why don't you write something that can be read later on? I keep it half an hour because it's convenient. It's easy for them to not to be bored too much. And what can you say for 3 hours? That is not what you have already said. You may end up repeating yourself. So let life be a loop. It's not bad. It's good for. It's good. It's good for their memory line. It's good for the ancestries, how they view their ancestors. I don't think my siblings have done any videos like that. I wish them to do that. Even their offspring and even in the larger family, I would really sit down and listen to them. If they did something like this, I would read them, look at them, hear them, more or less all the time. I will feel relieved if I can spend more time listening to them. What they are thinking, what they profoundly have in their mind. It's all a loop. It's all something that may be important in life. And I heard a man said, listen to your dad. I am a dad. And he told my daughters to listen to me. Wow, that is touching. That is touching, my friend. Okay, shalom to everybody. Peace.